Okay, guys. I am super excited today that we have corporate on with us. Two of my friends who I've gotten to know over the past year, Jesse and Sam, and they are both amazing, amazing partners in this great adventure that we're on. And so they really, really know what they're talking about. Jesse has been in the industry his entire life. His family has been in the industry. And so for me, it's been very cool to listen to him because I'd never been in the industry before. And just for him to tell us why Plexus is so amazing and so different than everybody else. And so anyways, they're going to talk to y'all today and I can't wait to hear what they have to say. So take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you, Beth.
You can pay me later.
That's right. That's right. So I can't lie, Beth and Scott are probably two of my favorite leaders in Plexus, and I'm not just saying that. We actually made a joke that we were going to hire him to be one of our new coaches. So he just would have to fly out here every so often to be at corporate, just because they're such an amazing family, and we sure appreciate them. And that's exactly, honestly, what makes Plexus so unique. Is that all of y'all are so special and different than a lot of other companies. For most of you, maybe you've seen or been involved in network marketing, but this is for most people, this is the first one where they actually said, you know what, yeah, I want to make some consistent money. And that's what makes it so unique is we just have so many incredible stories of, stay-at-home moms or single moms or, dads who are just trying to make that little extra money and use Plexus to do that. And Beth had mentioned, but Plexus really is so unique and different. And I want everyone to really understand that, because if this is your first network marketing company, make it be your last, because you're going to be disappointed if you go anywhere else, because nowhere else is like Plexus, especially from our corporate to our actual ambassadors. We just have such a genuinely good company as well as genuinely good ambassadors. We ended convention. If you didn't go to convention last year, we ended it with the DJ started doing praise music. It was all about Jesus, and it was like no joke. There was hundreds of ambassadors who came up to the front, and it wasn't on purpose. It was kind of just accidental how it happened, but it really just kind of showcased who our company is and the ambassadors and how we care first and foremost about people. And it's not always about making money. It's more about how can we help change lives. And that was a little bit of what I wanted to speak on today in the call. That Beth had mentioned it, but I'd worked in this industry at another company for about 10 years, doing the same type of job, same type of role, where we worked with our ambassadors and we helped them as that team to give that support that you need from a corporate perspective. But from there, I saw this industry and how much you really could change your own life and how much you could change the lives of others. And so I left that corporate job and didn't have another job and said to my wife, we're gonna try and go build another, we're gonna try to be just like all of y'all as ambassadors and go try to build a network marketing company. And we were super, super successful. We were the fastest growing team in the company for about 6 or 7 months. And we saw a ton of enrollments, a ton of activity. But that's when I saw where network marketing can be scary, because it's really hard. It can be really, really hard. Network marketing is probably one of the hardest things you can do, but also one of the most rewarding and also the best thing you can do. It's hand in hand and kind of depends upon the day. But that's where I realized where Plexus is so unique, because we were the fastest growing businesses, but we were making we're not quite to diamond where you make really good money. We're close to that emerald range, and we were only making about $2,500 a month. And for me and my little family, that wasn't enough. That wasn't going to cover just our day-to-day expenses and our bills at that time. So as my wife continued, I had to get a secondary job just to pay for our bills. And that was hard for me because I'd coached about this company and how it could change lives for 10 years. And I saw that in that middle ground, people don't make much money. And I felt like I was lied to and that I'd lied to others. And so I left the industry for a couple of years, kind of wrote off network marketing. And a good friend of mine was here at Plexus, and she just continued to talk to me about Plexus and how it's different and how she wanted me to come to Plexus and start a regional program. And I just ignored her for about a year. I just told her, no, I'm not interested. And she finally convinced me to come out here and talk to Alec and Tarl. And that was when everything changed for me. When I got to see just how genuinely good these men were. And then, guys, I saw the compensation plan, and I was blown away by how much money that they give back to our ambassadors. You're not going to see that anywhere else consistently, especially in the middle ranks, which is sometimes the hardest. The Plexus genuinely wants to take care of everyone from the very start all the way through Diamond. So that was really for me why Plexus has been so different and so unique. And that's what I want you guys to have in the back of your minds. When all of you started Plexus, I want you to think about that day that you started Plexus and when you made the decision to start a business. So not just as a customer, when you said, you know what, I'm going to share with others. I'm going to share with my family how unique this is. And I want you to think about why you were doing it, because your why is the only thing that's going to get you out of bed. It's the only thing that's going to keep you going. And for a lot of people, it can be, your family, your spouse. But I want you to think about why you originally wanted to be an ambassador. And if you haven't done this in a while, I want you guys all to commit to me today. Take some time, personal reflection, and talk about why you're doing it now. Because this isn't easy. It's not going to get easier. It's still going to be hard, right? But I want you to write down, and I'd love to see them. I'm on your guys' team page. I'd love you to write out there to all of us. Why, right now in November 2018, why are you doing this? Why are you willing to sacrifice your time and your energy for Plexus? And get selfish, right? I want you to think about why you're doing this for you. So it could be to pay off a mortgage or help with kids through college or, just to pay for your products. It doesn't have to be something big, but I want to hear it because that is going to be your driving force. And if that's not something that you keep in front of you, I used to write it down on our bathroom mirrors. We used to put it by our desks in our office, our phone, and then also I did it in my car because mine was my kids. I wanted to give them a better life. And so I had pictures of my kids in places, and I would write little quotes next to it to help remind me when the times got tough or I didn't want to make another phone call or I wanted to go, do something that wasn't going to actually increase or benefit my business. I'd look at that and say, no, I have to do this first. This is my first priority every single day. And do that. I want to challenge each of you to do that. But I quickly want to tell you guys a story that because a lot of times in Plexus or network marketing, maybe you've had success in the past or you're just starting to see that success, and sometimes it's going to get difficult. You may have people who don't order each month or they cancel or they do something else, and it can be hard. And sometimes you don't believe in yourself. You think, you know what? I'm not Beth. I can't do what Beth does or Alicia does. I just can't do that. But that's exactly what you need to kick out of your mind. So I want to tell you a little bit of story. And I failed to introduce Samantha. So Samantha is our new regional manager over the West, and Texas is in there. So Samantha's going to be visiting a lot more out to Texas and seeing everybody and spending more time. But Samantha is from Idaho, and I'm also from Idaho. And Idaho is like Texas. It's a redneck kind of state. Sam grew up on a cattle ranch. We had a farm with cows and chickens and horses, and same with Sam. It's just, I think it's how you grow up a little bit in Idaho. But I want to tell you a little bit of a story. And this is personal because this is a story about myself, but it's told from my dad's perspective. So growing up in Idaho, every 4th of July, it was a huge, it still is to this day, that on the 4th of July, we have a big rodeo. Sam's maybe even been to it and rode in it. I don't know. I think her brother has, but it's the Jackson Teton Valley Rodeo that happens every year. And when I was 6 years old, we went to the rodeo. And at the beginning, I had a really close friend. He was a couple years older than me. That he told me he was getting ready to do the mutton busting. And mutton busting, if you don't know what that is, it means you're riding the sheep, right? The little kids get on the sheep and they get to ride them. And I hadn't heard of it before. I mean, we'd done that on the ranch, but I hadn't heard of it at the rodeo as a 6-year-old. But it got me pretty excited. I was excited. I wanted to go try to ride the sheep. And I knew that I could do it. My dad says that when I came up to the stand, my mom hadn't come, so it was me and my brother and sisters and my dad. And my dad had brought a couple of his friends, his work friends were there with us. And I went to him and I said, Dad, I want to ride the sheep. And he said, what are you talking about? You want to ride the sheep? And I said, Dad, there's a trophy and I'm going to win it. I saw it. It's a big trophy and I'm going to win it. And he said, Jesse, no, you're not. You're not old enough. You're too small. You're going to get hurt. We're not doing that. And of course, I don't remember this part, but he said that I got pretty emotional and big old, alligator tears started coming down my face. And I said, Dad, no, I can do it. I can do it. I'm not going to get hurt and I'm going to win. And, he still didn't want me to do it. He was worried that my mom was going to be mad because, I was going to die and he was going to go home and say that the sheep had run over me. But he said that his friends nudged him and said, hey, when someone believes they can do something like that, you need to let them try. And so he was an older gentleman that my dad really respected. And so my dad said, you know what? I'm going to let you try. But just know that if you get hurt or something happens to you, I warned you. So you need to be cautious. I don't know if you can do this. It's going to be really hard. You don't have any of the equipment. You don't have a rope. You don't have a helmet. You don't have any protection. All these other kids had it all, and you don't have anything. I don't know that you can do it. And I didn't care. I didn't care what he said. I wasn't discouraged at all because I knew I was going to do it. So I went up with my brother. He took me out, and they called all the mutton busters to the arena, and we went out there, and I was by far the littlest one. My dad said I was maybe half the size of everyone else. You had a lot of 8-year-olds and 7-year-olds, even 9-year-olds that were way bigger than me, and they had all the fancy equipment. They had ropes to tie onto the sheep and a helmet and all these things. I didn't have anything, but I don't remember any of that. I don't remember anybody except for myself in that rodeo and that I knew that I wanted to ride that sheep. So my dad said that as he tells the story that he saw rider after rider get thrown and chucked and stepped on, and they were crying and parents had to run out there and get them, and that no one was riding these sheep. And he said it looked like they were pretty wild because they were just taking out all these kids. And then they called my name. And my dad tells me that, he saw the Terminator sheep come out, that it was the biggest sheep he'd ever seen. And it looked like it was wild. And he was just scared to death that I was going to be riding this sheep because it was the biggest one. And he said, I got on there and I didn't have any equipment. And so I just reached around as far as my arms could and just grabbed onto the wool of the sheep and grabbed my legs on there and just held on like I could. And I rode him in the house. My dad, I'd hopped on his back lots of times. So I just figured it was like that. So they let it go, and my dad said it ran all the way to the end of the arena. And a couple times he thought I was going to fall off, and it hit the fence and turned back and went all the way to the other side of the arena. And still I didn't let go. I wasn't letting go. They finally, a cowboy had to come run and get me off the sheep because it had gone way past the 8 seconds and I wasn't letting go. And I don't remember this, but my dad said that I got off and I did kind of the wave like rodeo guys do, because I thought that was pretty cool. I rode, so I did the wave to the crowd and they were cheering for me. And I left and got out of there, and I went to my dad and I said, I told you I could do it. I told you I could do it. And he said that was, the first time that I taught him a major lesson that really impacted his life. And he said about 20 minutes later, they called all the Mutton Busters back to the arena, and I knew I'd won. And they called me up, and I won the biggest trophy. He said it was bigger than I was. I still have the trophy, actually, to this day, that I showed to my kids, because now in Arizona, our mutton busting starts right now in the winter. Last year, they rode 4 different times, and they're going to ride again this year. But the lesson that I want you guys to all think about from this story is what my dad told me is that it taught him that if someone has a real reason to why they're wanting to accomplish a certain goal and they believe that they can do it, nothing will get in their way. And for each of you, as you're in your Plexus business, I don't know if you've just started or you've been here for a long time, but it doesn't matter. December and then going into 2019, I was here with Sheila Medina yesterday. She's in the office right now. She's one of the first Plexus ambassadors. And you know what she told me that she's doing with her team in January? They're starting over. They're starting all over. She said, you know what? This is a time where we get back to the basics of Plexus. And it doesn't matter if I'm a diamond or if I'm a brand new ambassador. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get to silver again. And I'm going to get to gold. And I'm going to get to senior gold again personally. Because by doing that, I'm starting off the year really fresh. And you guys are going to have so many people who doubt you, not just with Plexus, but lots of decisions you make in your life. But remember that 6-year-old boy, when you're thinking about times getting tough, there are lots of people are going to tell you you can't do it, that you don't have the ability, you don't have the skill sets, you don't have the things that it takes. And that's a lie. That's an absolute lie. Because anybody can build Plexus and be successful. And we're going to help you along that path. And you have some of the best leaders in all Plexus. So when you hear that and you start to have doubt come into your mind, remember me telling you it's a lie. Because you can do this. You can change your life with Plexus and change the lives of everyone that you introduce to Plexus. You have this amazing opportunity, and don't let it slip you by. I remember that one of the things that when I've talked to Celeste in the past, that when she talks about sharing it now, she feels like if she doesn't share it, she's hiding this great thing in a bottle and not benefiting other people with what she has. And that's really what you have to keep in mind is every time you don't share, you're really just keeping this amazing thing from helping and changing other people's lives. And when you do that and you take on that perspective, it becomes so much easier to share because you're there sharing the good word. You're there sharing what Plexus really is and how it can benefit lives. Guys, I really do love this team. I appreciate all that you guys have done. Beth, if you want to open up for any questions, we got a couple minutes left, or if there's anything else you guys want to add. But I want you just to remember, the liars that come into your mind, those are going to be the things that slow you down, but to kick them out. Kick them out of your mind. Keep that why somewhere close so that when that doubt comes in there or times get tough, you can remember the little 7-year-old boy and riding those sheep. So Beth, thanks so much for having us on.
Hey, will you talk about Super Saturday real fast?
Yes.
And why people should be there?
Super Saturday or Super Saturdays in general are going to be like something you don't want to miss. And I know we say that a lot, but this year, the changes that are coming to benefit your businesses, we've changed a lot this year, and they're all 100% based to benefit y'all. So make sure to get registered for Super Saturday. By registering, even if you're not there at another location where corporate's having one, or you're watching it at your house live, you're going to get a special incentive that's only there if you get registered for those events.
Yeah, okay, and I think y'all know, I think it's super, super, super important to be at events, right? So be there. And if you are way too far, which I think that some people should drive, even though it's a little bit far, because there's something about being there. But if you are going to do the live, do not do it alone. Be with people. What do y'all think? I mean, like, y'all tell them what y'all think about. That's what I've really been talking about lately, is getting face to face with people. And you know, I've been traveling a little bit. We've been trying to really gear up Sippencies and do that, and just getting face to face with people. Like, what is y'all's opinion on being around, even in small environments, Plexus people?
100%. I mean, so I'll tell you guys, and this is where this is network marketing and not necessarily Plexus specific. But when I built, we couldn't use social media. The company wouldn't let us use it at all. So I built only belly to belly, and that means I, would share what the opportunity was with somebody, at Starbucks or at my house or their house. And I'm not joking you, our enrollment ratio was almost 98% that we would enroll when we'd sit down with them, because they could see I was a real person, and they could see that I was genuine and not scary. And so Sippencies were the way that I built so quickly, or one-on-one. But also the events, guys, what the events do is, it's like, I'm a guy, so I talk a little bit about, I saw Scott on here, so we can me and Scott. he's a coach. But there's something different about watching a football game on TV and being at a football game, right? Because being at a football game, you feel the energy of the crowd, and you just feel every single play. And that is exactly what happens at Plexus events. It's why we actually hold events, because you can feel the difference, and you can learn lessons there that are like, okay, I get it. I felt that. I see the significance of what that is. And if it's not, I promise you, it'll change your business. When Alec talks about leaders are built at events, it's 100% true. That it sometimes can be a sacrifice, but guys, make this sacrifice for these events. Get there. We don't do them just because. We do it because we know that it's going to be a game changer for each of y'all. And we want to do more of these. We want to do more events where we actually are coming out to your areas, and so you can come out and see us as well, because we know that that's sometimes what you need. Sometimes the biggest changes that you'll see will come from those events. So definitely get out to those events. And I think there was a couple, I want to make sure on the chat if there were any questions.
Yeah, if y'all have questions, type them real fast, because they're about to have to hop off. But anything, y'all can ask anything real quick. I see lots of people moving, so I don't know if they can do that. As you're driving and walking.
That's great too. Of course, you can always ask us questions on Facebook, or if you guys ever need anything. But I want you all to commit to me to write down what your why is, and then some changes that you want to make to grow your team, some things that you want to do differently.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. This is, if I can do this, anyone can do this. This is still so out of my comfort zone and everything that I do. And I did a live for one of our teams yesterday, just talking about the belief that I had to learn to believe in Plexus, like the products, because at the beginning, I didn't believe in any of it. I didn't believe in network marketing. I didn't believe that I could do this. I didn't believe that I was a leader. I didn't believe that I could speak. I didn't think I would believe I was worthy. And I still have to work on those things a lot of times. And so I think, though, that when you start believing and you truly believe, and you're around corporate and you are on Zooms or around team events, whether that be a team lunch or an event or whatever, your belief starts to grow and grow and grow, and it becomes a passion. And Celeste is right. we have something that if we're not telling people, we could be we should be proud to tell people about Plexus, because it could truly change somebody's life. And we've seen thousands and thousands and thousands of lives change. People that couldn't get out of bed, people that literally couldn't buy groceries for their family, people that just needed a family. And you've seen these lives changed over and over and over again. And so I know I'm Plexus forever, 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 because I truly believe, and it's truly become my passion. And I hope that everybody on this Zoom gets to that point if you're not there. And if you're not there, talk to us, message Jesse or Sam, because they know it, they see it, and we're all here to help each other. So anyways.
And I know that oh man, that English bulldog puppy Alicia is legit. Golly.
Alicia is crazy. She got that Saturday night before she left for Missouri to go do a meeting, and it is her third dog.
So I had an English bulldog, and the snorting, and it's so much like a pig, it's crazy. It's awesome.
She's a good mama. Alicia's a good mama.
You're so right. I mean, me and talking about Plexus and Plexus for Life. I mean, me and Scott, we have matching Plexus tattoos on our lower back. It actually says Plexus for Life. So have Scott show you his. It's pretty
okay. Unique. I will have him show me that, and we'll take a picture for you.
We did it in Hawaii. So we just felt like it was important.
Crazy. Oh my word. It's a great trip. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, and you know what, guys? We're definitely want to come out there a little bit more and see y'all in Texas, and but I couldn't echo what Beth's saying is so amazing, you guys. Like your team, so someone was talking to me the other day about some of the best, most consistent teams in Plexus, and this team was one that I brought up because y'all just have such great servant leadership on this team. And you really understand what Plexus is all about. And sometimes it's just getting back to the basics. The one thing I learned building a business is the key is doing what you did when you got started. Using those social media platforms. And don't be scared to get back on and posting in social media. We're going to have a lot of changes that are come out with corporate. We want you guys to have a lot more flexibility and freedom to talk about the money you're making and the products you're using, and we're taking the handcuffs off and telling compliance to calm down, because that's how we got built. So I want you all to get back to posting on social media. If you guys ever have you're like, oh, I'm worried if this is going to be compliant, don't worry, because now the coaches are going to be reaching out if something's we need to change something on your posts. It's going to be the coaches calling your teams and trying to help out with those. So I also want you guys to get committed to making those posts again. Get onto Facebook, 3 or 4 posts every day, talking about those. Because there's still so many people that need to hear about Plexus. And I think that's something that we need to get back onto, is getting back to the roots of sharing what we have and doing that on social media even more.
Yeah, and that's that's one thing that I said I would never, ever, ever, ever do, was post on social media. And it's funny, even 6 years in, and I post on social media a lot, that, when I'm messaging people, a lot of times I start it with, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post. And I've had several people lately say, I've never seen your Plexus post. And I'm like, what? And so definitely it is a huge way to reach out. That is how we started building. We started building by that and just meeting people and loving people. And I think that we do need to use social media, but we also do need to not hide behind our computers and get out there and love people, because that's what this is about, is relationships and loving people. And I'm committed to do that. I know Alicia and Ariel are committed to do that. We've all talked about this, about how we're going to start going around as well and just seeing y'all and loving on y'all. So anyways, yeah. Yeah. So it's a great place to be. And 6 years in, I have no doubts. Almost 6 years in, I can't believe that, because 6 days in, I was like, I'm not doing this. But anyways, God had better plans, right, guys? So thank y'all for being on today. I really appreciate it so much. And we'll have to do it again sometime.
We will. We'll do it again.
All right. Hey, guys, we do not have a Zoom next week because it's Thanksgiving. I I am having a sip and see at my house. So if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you are welcome to come, or any other area, but it might be far, this Sunday. So anyways, we hope to see y'all there, and I can get you more information on that. So thanks, Jesse and Sam.
Hey, and be on the lookout. Black Friday, Cyber Monday specials that are coming your way.
That's awesome. Yes. Thank you.
All right, guys. See you later.
Hey, guys.